Hello traders, John at StockBookie.com. Today we're looking at the SPY, the IWM, the Qs, the DIA, the IYT, the USO, the UUP, and the GLD. We follow the daily, weekly, monthly time frames, and we use technical analysis here at StockBookie.com. So let's get right into the charts here. Let's go to the 10-minute SPY, and I want to show you a little bit of the intraday action. You know, we opened up a little bit gap down on the Amazon news. A couple of other stocks were bombing too. But by the end of the day or end of the first hour in the session, we were starting to go green. We're above the moving averages here, trying to go for the 200 and try to recapture that, which is you know, grandma's goal every day. But come here right around what was it, 1 o'clock time frame. Some news came out with Clinton, and boom, bombshell, came right down to these levels. And we'll go to the daily and we show the support here. But man, they fought it. Look at the volume that came in. We actually had 140 million. What do I tell you guys? You got to keep an eye on the volume. We get heavier volume, we're going to be selling. And the selling came in here. As soon as it started to get a little bit lighter and the news subsided, bounced right back up. And we closed, what was it, 63 cents down on the day. So nothing big, but this was exciting. I mean, we had a couple shorts out there, and as soon as this thing started playing out, they all came in. So that was nice for us. Let's go to the daily chart. So this is the line we've been talking about today in our live session, 212.29. It almost broke it, guys, every time. Not yet. Look at that. Gets below it, right above. Gets almost there, and they kick it back up. And again, we've had nice reversal here, some follow through. We did close below, so we are confirmed below the 50 and the 20 again. But we are chopping around now on that resistance. And now we have this pivot here, connecting that to that. We're going to have some more support as well down here as well. So we do have support coming from a trend line. We have the gap window here, and then we have a gap filled down here at 209.70. I still think we could get to the 207. Come here with the window, fill the gap, and then fill this gap down here at 200 eventually. This is a nice bearish pattern, but we'll see if it plays out. The other alternative is if they get it above the moving averages, fill the gap, fill the gap, fill the gap, get it right back to 220, and possibly this one moving up. But at this point, I think this bearish pattern could possibly play out. Going into elections, probably won't do much after, maybe some fireworks, or maybe they hold it up through November, December, and then grandma raises the rates, and it's going to be lights out come January, just like last year when she came out and announced the rate hike. They sold it off at the end of the year into January. I think it was like a 12, 13-day sell-off, which was great. So anyways, let's get to the weekly one. Now we can look at the weekly charts. That's the 10-minute. So the weekly chart, we did close below the 20 MA, and we did close below this little pivot, but we're right on top of that line again at the 212.29 until we crack that. Here's that trend line connecting the lows right here. So let's see if we can still consolidate. This is a nice inside bar consolidation, bearish. We got below the 20 now. I think this is setting up for possibly no more lower prices. But again, we'll see. I mean, you know, it's been interesting, these markets, light volume. Comes in today pretty good, and then we sold off a little bit, but they held it up towards the end of the day as the volume got a little bit lighter. All right, let's get right into the IWM. IWM now a little bit different story. This one's talking to us a little bit, guys. So today we're only 33 cents down, but yesterday's sell-off was pretty nasty. We are confirmed below the 20 and the 50 MA again on the daily chart, that is. And let's see, we did come and fill this gap right here at 118.13. Where did it close today? Yeah, so we did close below this gap. So I'm thinking we're going to go to 116.83 next stop. And if this thing starts to go, we're going to go to this 200 MA, and then we have some gaps to fill down here around 110, 108, and so on. But you know, we're going to take it one step at a time. But right now, this is looking a little bit on the weak side. And usually, if anything, like I always been saying in these videos, the IWM's been lagging. But now if it starts going down, this will be the leader going down, and then everything else will slowly follow. But we got to see. We got to see where this thing ends up next week. If it ends up moving down a little bit lower, then we're going to redetermine and see if this thing's starting to lead the way down. You know, it's just couple days of selling. It's nothing crazy yet. So let's get right into the weekly chart. The weekly chart, a little bit different. We did close below the 20 MA, so let's see if we can hold down here. Next level will be 116.83, gap fill down in here. And then, you know, I'm thinking possible lower prices, or we're going to wait for some consolidation. Possible retrace back to the highs here to the 20 MA will curl down into there. So do we retrace back up and then sell off, or do we continue selling into the elections? I don't know. But right now, this is telling me that's a little bit bearish. We had some nice sell bar, a little pause, and then another sell bar on this one here. Again, IWM is lagging, but now it's starting to lead the way down. We'll keep an eye on this next week to see where this thing will end up. All right, and one more thing, guys, I want to throw in here. This is what I'm starting to see. Let's throw a fib in here. We might be at 382 maybe. Oh wow, look at that, cracked through that too. So we're coming up to the 5-0 retrace. We cracked through to 382. So yeah, so this is a little bit on the weak side. So we're gonna have to keep an eye on that one. Let's get to the Qs. The Qs 74 cents down. Nothing crazy. You know, indexes were not flat. The Qs were leading the way, or the Nasdaq was leading the way. So that was the weak course of today. But we are once again below the MAs here. So let's see if we can confirm and continue down. Or do we bounce back up like we've been doing? I mean, we chopped around, they bounced it up, tried to break it out, reverse, reverse. Nice reversal there as well. I mean, it had a nice gap up, came right back in, and then as well as we gapped below the 50 MA today, and we actually stayed below it. Now we recapture, we're below the 382 as well. Let's see if we hold up. Did we fill the gap today? Yeah, I think we filled the gap too today, and that's why another reason why we bounced. So again, kind of the leader still, but we are below the MA, so it's slightly in a bearish mode now, but we're still, you know, above the 200 MA, and it's still kind of just chopping around, chopping around. I still think we're making a rounded top here, guys. I'm just kind of taking its sweet time, you know, falling apart. But again, you know what? Each day we get the information, and then we plug it in, and we see where we're at. But on the weekly chart, nothing really big. I mean, we moved up, came right back in. We closed at the low down here. You know, I want to see more follow through here. I want to see it get to the 114.87 area and then come back here, and then we're reevaluating since this thing goes down. So right now it's technically okay, but we are back. We're still above the 20 and the 50, so still in a bullish stance on the weekly. But again, come on, guys, break out. I want this thing to start ripping. Come on, I'm short, but prove it to me that this thing's strong. You know, don't sit here for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks and then not break out. But if this doesn't break out, it's going to break down. Let's get into the DIA. DIA, same thing. You have a bearish pattern. This is the weekly now. I'm going to go in reverse. Weekly pattern, bearish. We're still below the 20 MA. Let's see if this one sets up. Another week or two, this one should be setting up to go down. If you're bullish, you need to get above this inside bar, 185.45. Then the all-time high, 186.88. And this one can possibly continue up. I'm thinking 190 or so, depending on the rally, or maybe QE4. It's going to be on news. That's the only way this thing's going to rally. And if Facebook doesn't have good earnings, and a couple of the big players that are coming up don't have good earnings, we're going to go get slapped in the face going down. Let's look at the daily really quick. Daily, same thing, inside bar, chomping around. We did close below the 20 and the 50 on the daily basis, just like we did yesterday. No confirmation, so we'll see what we get next week. But this is an inside bar bearish pattern setting up for lower prices. The IYT again, 3 cents. It was actually weak in the morning. Look at the intraday action. I mean, actually, no, it was strong in the morning. And as soon as the Hillary news came out, look at that. Then they popped it back up. It was only 3 cents down, but they are trying their best to hold the transports up right now. The transports closed right at 8,018, so we're above the 8,000 mark, but every time we get here it has trouble, just like now. So let's go to the weekly really quick. Remember, the weekly had that great pattern, bullish pattern, but man, every time it tries, comes right back in. So, but we did recapture, or we're above the 382. It is chopping around in another bullish pattern. So let's see next week if this one's going to play out, or if it's going to break down, or possibly we just channel here for the next couple weeks into the election. Who knows? We'll find out more next week. Again, IYT is a lagging indicator, should be leading, and it's not. Now the USO, this was really interesting today. Remember, everyone's bullish on this one, and here we go. We had an inside bar, bearish pattern. They popped it up, got all the shorts to cover, right back in, and down we go. We were 20 cents down on the day, or almost 2% on the USO, and we're starting to come into some support down in here. We'll see how this acts at the 50 and the 50% retrace. I still think it could get to 10.48 down here, and maybe $10 if this market really starts rolling over. But yeah, that's great. Look at that play though. Again, straight up, down, straight up. This one kind of chopped around, and now it's falling apart here. Weekly, it looks like we did not confirm. It looks like we came right back in. I'm going to open this one up a little more. Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty good selling this week. I mean, we got right above the 50 and the 20 on the weekly, never confirmed, came right back in, and here we are, almost at the 20 MA again. We get below these, and we kiss the 618 at 1048. I still think we're going down, and I think at least maybe 919 or so. We'll see. I'd like to see the $9 level hit. Maybe be a buyer. But if that starts cracking, we get below this trend line. Trend line is going to be huge for this one, guys. If we start breaking below it, then I think we could break down right to the all-time lows again, which was 767, and maybe even lower. So let's be patient on this. We're going to buy this one again whenever I think a signal. We're going to ride this one up, and we're going to ride it down. We're riding it down right now, and hopefully we can get lower and lower prices to ride it up straight up again. That would be awesome. All right, let's go into the UUP. I don't know if the UUP really had some action. Yeah, it was down a little bit today, 15 cents. Nothing crazy. But again, they were trying to get this down, so oil goes up. Oil never really reacted. Gold did, though. Dollar down, gold up. Gold did, but it ended up fading at the end. We'll look at that one next. And this one's still slightly bullish, so we're still above the MA, still chopping around. See how we almost got into this trend line? Now it's going sideways, building up to possibly make the next move up. We'll see how this goes. As this consolidation was a little bit premature, needed to go a little bit longer. I would love to this curl up into this price and then continue. So this breakout was a little bit chase me, chase me, chase me. Oh, we're going to bring it back again. So maybe they bring it back into the 382, the 20 MA, and then it bounces and moves up from there. Weekly chart. Same thing, we went up in there, and that's actually a kind of a reversal. We'll see. I mean, it came into the 25.59 level, almost hit the slanted trend line, but we'll see how this sets up, or does it continue sideways and then build pressure to move up? We'll have to see. Right now, there's really not a pattern. Let's go back to the daily really quick. Yeah, daily, I mean, somewhat of a bullish pattern. We are above the MA, so let's see if this thing can possibly pop up on Monday and continue its way up. Let's look at the GLD real quick. GLD, let's look at the intraday here. Yeah, it was a nice, I mean, we started ripping right when that Hillary stuff came out, and then boom, came right in, little bearish pattern, boom, fall right back into 120, 159. I don't know what that area was. You got a little pivot top there. You have a pivot there. So, but nothing crazy, but right back into that pivot top, which will now be support. And let's see what happens on Monday. Let's go to back to the daily. We talked about this one in our live session as well. Bearish pattern. They did pop it up, brought it right back in. Are we below the 59? Yeah, we're 1 cent below the 121.59. Still bearish pattern. Let's see if this can set up and do go a little bit lower. You know, we've been talking about these levels down here. I think around 115.15. Where is it? 115.71, 112.40, and then ultimately 109.18. We'll see if we can get into this. There's going to be a lot of support here too, but one step at a time on this one. Let's look at the weekly. Weekly chart, same thing, setting up in a little bearish wedge. See how it popped up? It hit the 200 MA here. He brought it right back in. Let's see if we can consolidate, or will they gap this thing up and keep going? Or will it just slowly kind of do this and then hopefully roll over and go to 110? 110 we'll start buying. I mean, we'll start buying at 112, maybe at 115 or so. We'll see how it reacts if it falls. If this thing sets up 8, 9, 10 weeks, you know, it just does nothing, I mean, that move would definitely bring us down probably to these gaps, maybe that gap fill around 105 or so. But one step at a time with this one as well, guys. All right, that's going to be it for this week of 10/28. We're going into the weekend. Then we have one more day of the month, which is Monday, and then which is Halloween as well. So we'll see how this thing sets up over the weekend with the news with Hillary. Who knows? Maybe more crap will pop up, and we just have a big sell-off on Monday. But it will still be interesting. All right, guys. Thanks for coming to my live sessions. Thanks for watching my videos, and God bless, and see you on the charts.